Hello there, praise be to Jesus, and welcome back to another video covering Caliber on the channel. Check out the other videos as well. This one we're looking over the Marksmen. I may call them Recon, I may call them Sniper, I may call them Marksmen. Just know if I'm using any variation of that word, I am referring to this class. I've played too many games where it just gets called three different other things. So, Marksman, Sniper, Recon, I'm talking about these fine gentlemen and lady here. So, as always, I will try to recall if they cost credits or coin or if they're available for the store. The goal of this is, of course, to help you pick, as I always recommend picking one from each class. And if you are responsible with your money, and I am not trying to pick the best one, so you're minimizing your usage of credits and resources when leveling up. So this will help you pick. Your role as the marksman is generally split between what weapon you're using. It is split between mostly semi-auto sniper rifles for moderate damage or high damage bolt action rifles, range from very high damage to one-shot capabilities to the head, with a few outliers. But your role is to either haze targets by doing decent damage to them or casting your ability to have the ability to debilitate them, or in PvE, particularly for PvE, you are looking for high-value targets. The guy with the rocket launcher, the special medics, the support officers. You are to get those targets off the field, seeing as how you have the highest range of anyone in the game, even with the lower weapons that are not bolt actions. I said it weird like that because you'll find out, and particularly because I found out our first one right here. Let's go ahead, let's get into it. We got Strelux here. He's available for credits. He is actually one of two people that use an automatic weapon. His is not as good as the other one, which we'll get to. Do not see a whole lot of Strelux. He gets actual hand grenades as his special equipment to use. And the reason why you probably don't see a whole lot of him is his ability allows him to mark targets within range of himself. He'll do an area of effect and he'll mark targets. Thing is, though, is the effect is not very long. So you have to do a quick spin around take, which is dangerous to do, particularly in PvP. But also means you as the marksman are pushing up, which generally your role is more towards the back of the group. You instead have to be the aggressor and be up front, which, yes, he does have an automatic weapon, but it has very low capacity. I think it goes up to 20 rounds. Yeah, it eventually goes up to 20 rounds, but he starts off with 10 rounds, which makes him not very viable unless you're really hitting them shots, and I unfortunately have not played him, so I do not know his recoil and everything else. But if he's like the other one, he probably has decent recoil. So, overall, he's kind of meh. Unless maybe his recon ability gets buffed a bit more for PvP purposes. Less so PvE. PvE, again, you're not going to be... Shouldn't be all the way up there. Unless you're the other guy. Really like the other guy. When we get to him. Next up is Sokol. Sokol is only available for purchase on the online store. He is currently part of a bundle, but the bundle is currently being broken apart and having the individual characters sold. I don't know if they're going to continue to keep doing that. It's been on a week-by-week rotation, and at the time of recording, this is the final week with the final operators. I don't know if the next week they're going to start starting it at the top again, offering the other operators single amount again. Otherwise, he is only available in the bundle, which is expensive. He gets a bolt action rifle, very hard hitting, with 158 headshot, which will headshot kill most things. He gets mines for either defensive or pre-planning traps. And he gets the barrage ability. With the barrage ability, he stays scoped in, improved rate of fire, and eventually, as other buffs applied to it in 3, but also any players he messes up, they have no longer revival time. But PvE, it helps with high health targets that will survive that headshot, which is few, but it allows you to keep fire. I can use words, I swear, in all these videos. I have one moment. I always have one moment where I can't talk. But it allows you to keep fire on target and get them out of play quicker than to fire, unscope, and go back in. EDP, generally something moves in the cover. E, stuff's probably still shooting at you, so this gives you time to get something off the field quicker. But he is a pretty solid high damage choice. I have not used him too much yet. My friend does, he likes him, and I've seen him used in Kalmar in the awesome SSO legendary outfit that I will mention every single time because their outfits are really awesome. Responsible with your money. Kalmar gets a bolt action. It's a bit on the lower end for the headshot damage, so some things will live. He gets a throwable airplane drone, which will it will mark things that it flies over. I have not seen this distract AI compared to most drones, where the AI will try to focus drones and shoot them over players. And yeah, in general, I don't know if this can be shot down. He has a pretty nifty ability where if you get really good with Kalmar, this ability hurts in PvE. I have not seen it pop up too many times in PvP. Generally, if you know Kalmar's on the team, you know which cover you can and cannot hide behind. But yeah, he casts this ability and it allows him to shoot through cover that is generally destroyable, i.e. concrete and wood. Not straight up through all walls, but only like destroyable walls. Which is great in PvE if you know what you're doing, because he eventually gets the ability to increase headshot damage when he shoots anyone in the head. Doesn't have to be a kill shot, so he can trigger that, and then he starts like one-tapping a bunch of the enemies that are hiding behind cover. So it's a bit situational, and if you get good with Kalmar, you can be really good for PvE. I don't see him too much in PvP. I believe he is a rotation operator, so he is available for coin. Otherwise, yeah, and when he's in rotation, it'll be 55,000 credits. PvE, I like to see. Tien is available for credits. He is our first semi-auto user. He is like to get picked because he's a bit on, I believe he's on the cheaper side. I think he's possibly 20k or 30k credits. He gets a grenade launcher, a 6-round grenade launcher. I think they nerfed it and took away his ammo. Let me make sure real quick. He used to get 2, so he had like 12. I think they took it away. Okay, yeah. So, you get 2 versions of this. The default version is low damage, but applies marked and enemies cannot use abilities. And eventually you can swap it to where it's doing 50 more damage, but you don't do any effect. So, this can be used as a little monster, if you don't care about effects, to murder players and AI alike, and or just destroy cover. A fair amount of it since you get that 6 rounds. His escapability, while the movement speed might be nice, and maybe the rate of fire, I don't see too many people use this ability effectively. I don't even bother using it. The invisibility prevents you from being marked, which in PvE does not matter. Nothing marks you. And in PvP, generally most people gotta shoot you, so they already know you're there most of the time. But he is an okay selection. If you're looking for an operator that's cheap for the recon class, marksman, sniper, he is an alright choice. Stylet, I believe, is available for credits. He is also a part of a bundle that you can unlock by playing the tutorial on all characters. And pretty good bundle. He's a pretty good recon, especially when later leveled up. He actually, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gets semi-auto with decent damage. He starts off, I believe he is the only operator that starts off with his special gear, which is another gun. Which, shotgun, so you have a total of 3 weapons. You have the sniper, the pistol that we never talk about ever, and shotgun. You can hit for a fair amount, but its primary purpose is destroy cover. But you can also use it as a secondary alternative if someone closes distance. Now his ability is Deep Wounds, which allows hits to do bleed damage, which is constant tick damage, and I believe he might be the only guy that actually is able to do bleed. I don't remember. I think so. So again, he definitely fulfills the role of hazing. He's not going to sit there and one-tap someone, but he is going to do some damage for people that are peeking out. And if you can land multiple headshots at once with Deep Wounds, you can possibly get someone down. Useful in PvP because reasons. Because my brain doesn't want to work. He's got higher. I believe he's got, in terms of semi-autos, he's on the higher end for damage, and it gets stronger later on. At least it gets more armor pit. Oh no, yeah. Then some more headshot damage. So he's pretty good. Kurt, I don't remember if he's a rotation operator or not. I want to say he is. I want to say, but I am not sure. Either way, bolt action. Not as strong as Sokol's, but it gets the job done. Some things might live through that. Most things won't. You get claymores for either, again, defensive purposes, trap purposes, or just blowing up cover. He has the lure ability, which I underutilize a shit ton, as it's useful for both PvP and PvE. Eventually gets buffed to apply negative effects. Primary purpose is marking. Kills with it will help mark other targets as well as make them take longer to be revived if it's B. Overall, he is a good choice. But I can't remember if he is rotation operator or not, sadly. I've got a script, I don't get paid for this. Also, this is the legendary outfit. Don't how many looks like by default. Be responsible with your money. Next up, though, is Scout. Scout is a rotation operator, so he's available for coin unless he's in rotation, in that case 55,000. He is the other operator that uses a fully automatic weapon. And I don't remember, and I'm not going to compare their 2 damages, but he is definitely an assault class masquerading as a marksman. He is a character you can be aggressive with, and I'll get to it once I get to talking more about his gear. As before, he gets an automatic gun as opposed to semi-auto and bolt. Has claymores, again, traps, defense, blowing stuff up. And his ability. I'm pretty sure his ability has been nerfed once before. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nerfed again. He throws out a flare that has, I'm pretty sure it was radius that got reduced. That anything within that radius gets marked, so you know its location at all times. But eventually, he gets an ability that makes it so anything marked by his flare takes a flat 25% more damage. And that's not just from you, it's everything. The moment they are marked by that flare, they take 25% more damage from everyone. That's really, really useful. And good in PvE, good in PvP, good overall if you want to actually not be a marksman and just play as and want to fill the role because the Q is low on them but you actually want to be an assault, he is your choice. If you want to be an assault, but you don't, but Marksman's empty, he is a choice. He is good because of that flare ability. You managed to get that flare ability upgraded. What was it just after? It was 11, right? No, 9. Yeah. Just get him to level 9. That ability becomes just painful to deal with in both PvP and if you're on the receiving end. But good choice, Scout, and also America. Next up is Archer. Archer is another rotation operator, so as you can see here, coin, usually, or 55,000 credits if he is in rotation. Archer, as you can probably tell, is using a big 50 cal sniper rifle. Yeah, at minimum, body shots and all that do 115 damage. Headshots, 107, with an armor pen of 80 that eventually goes up to 90. Yes, his weapon can one tap most assaults. Actually, no, not most assaults. It has the potential to like one tap assault players because some of them have 1 armor and less than 100 health. It means they could be one tapped to the body, and then you headshot stuff and then they die. It comes with a negative though, as you might have already read. Shooting it while not having the bipod deployed, i.e. being behind waist-high cover, means that you get hit with slowed and crippled, i.e. just not being able to move or sprint. That eventually does get mitigated to have its duration down, but as long as you're not running up and trying to point blank someone, it's not that big of an issue. Get smoke grenades, and a special ability gives you an area of effect on the blast of your gun. That's right. Just if you want a sniper that's just a big fuck off gun, tells everything to fuck off all the goddamn fucking time, it's Archer. If you're tired of like hitting something in the head and it lives with like 1 HP or some dumb shit, get Archer. That will no longer happen. Vagabond. Vagabond's another rotation operator. I believe I said how rotation operators work now. I definitely for sure just had 2 in a row, so I'm not going to say it again. Bolt action rifle, again more on the lower end spectrum compared to others. I will actually mention his pistol because he gets a revolver that hits a lot harder than most of the, well not most, pretty much all the other pistols. Though he actually has a secondary available that you could possibly push in with, especially if you're hitting them headshots. Now, what people like about Vagabond is his special gear. The drone. This drone can absolutely win around in PvP. Not so much useful for PvE. It's a drone that goes around and stuns people every 3 seconds. And stunning in PvP is almost considered death sentence. So yeah, that's why people like him, for that round that you wait for the drone to come out. He also gets fragmented bullets, which I don't see used a whole lot, but might be useful in PvE more so, and possible moments in PvP if people are foolishly like all against each other, because when you hit someone within close range is getting also damage for like 80% of it. So a bit situational for a special ability, but special gear, super annoying to deal with in PvP. Like that thing just hounds you, it's annoying. You're waiting to be like mercy killed rather than trying to successfully destroy the drone. Emma, however you want to pronounce it, she is part of the Israeli faction. The Israelis are all available only on the store, and as with most of the Israelis, they are mostly geared toward PvP. And we'll start getting to it once we get to her ability. She gets a bolt action, which has a bit higher on that headshot damage, but some things can live through it. She gets a tugs that she can deploy, eventually carries 2 of them. You get to place it on the ground, it'll mark stuff every 2 seconds. Great for PvE, trying to set up in during those defense positions, as well as if she can get out to it, possibly make sure flanking routes are cut off by assaults in PvP, or if she pushes out, she can set up more towards enemy turf to hopefully get someone tagged. She can also pick these back up, so as long as they're not destroyed and she retrieves them, her special gear is not going to go away. Now her ability, it comes in 2 flavors depending on the sight you're using. If you're using the long range sight, you apply the suppress effect, so people can't aim down sights. So you can be anti-sniper or supporting teammates that are in the middle of gunfights by just hitting someone and then they can't aim down sights. Or what most people use it for, which is I believe what got nerfed on her because all the Israelis got hit with some kind of operator adjustment. If you use short range, it is the stun effect. Super annoying to deal with. And PvP stunning is almost a death sentence. So that's what she is mostly used for. So you can have some use for her in PvE, but for PvP, that's where she is. I'm not having a brain fart. I don't know if I talked about that her secondary is actually a automatic block, which eventually goes up to a 33 round mag. So if I somehow didn't talk about that, she also has a good secondary. Back her up. Diablo. Diablo is a part of a previous season's pass. Currently, the only way to attain him is through buying him on the store, unless he comes available for like future events or is added to the rotation operators. He gets a semi-auto D36. He gets a actual grenade launcher for either high damage or destroying cover, and his ability is to set shit on fire. More of that delicious tick and annoying damage. Overall, he's okay, but picking him over, say, like Stylet, who again I believe is available for credits, as opposed to you have to buy El Diablo, kind of puts him further down just because, again, try to be responsible with your money, you know? Or don't. I'm not your parents' advisor, life coach. But overall, the Marksman is pretty much picking your flavor to actually sit back and snipe with the bolt actions. Do you want to be more mid-range with the semi-autos, or do you want to be more aggressive up close with automatics? If so, Scout, really good choice, and Archer, really good choice for the other option, but of course both are rotation operators, so they might not be available. But it's all up to you. Decide what flavor you want to do. As always, have a nice day, and praise be to our Jesus.